Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another meal prep video. Before we jump into the meal prep, I want to start off with giving you guys a few quick meal prep tips. I get a lot of comments about people feeling intimidated, not knowing how to get started, and I just want to let you guys know the few things that I do every single week when I get started with meal prepping. The first thing I do every single week is make a plan. Now, if you are just starting out, I highly recommend you just to start small, maybe just do like one breakfast thing and one lunch thing and one snack, or if even that's a little bit too intimidating for you, just start off with just making all your lunches for the week. If you don't like eating the same thing every day, like myself, you can make like 2 different types of lunches that you're going to eat throughout the week. But just start small, but make a plan every single week. Don't just try to dive in without a plan. So once I've created my meal prep plan, I write it out and then I put it in the order that I want to prepare it. Now, I personally look at items that take a long time to cook and I do those first. So things that may need to go in the oven or going into a slow cooker or going into the pressure cooker. If I know that it needs to do its thing and I can do other things while it's cooking and I don't have to think about it, those are what I do first. So I always also include on my plan which containers I'm going to need and which appliances I'm going to need. I try to put it somewhere on my plan, that way I know what I need to pull out to get going and I don't have to be searching for it while I am in the middle of my meal prep. So one thing I always make sure I do before I start prepping is I always start with empty sinks, empty dishwasher, and my counters are cleared so that way I can clean as I go and I don't have to worry about things being in my way. And the last tip that I feel like, again, is one of the most important is I always pull out all my appliances, all my ingredients, all my containers, everything I'm going to need for meal prep. I pull them all out before I start, including my measuring cups, my measuring spoons, everything I just put out on my table. And that way it's all there. I don't have to go searching through any drawers or cupboards and it's just ready to go. So those are literally like the things that I do every single week before I start meal prepping. So now let's get into the video. So we're going to start off with the apple spice steel cut oats. This is going to be going into my pressure cooker, which is only going to take about 30 minutes total cooking time, which is amazing for steel cut oats. So into my pressure cooker liner, I am adding in 1 1/3 cup of steel cut oats, 3 cups of water, 1 cup of unsweetened vanilla almond milk. I'm using 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice, and then 2 apples that have been cored and peeled and chopped. So you're just going to give that a good stir, and then you're going to put it into your pressure cooker, and you're going to cook this on high pressure for 3 minutes. Now, it will take about 10 minutes or so to come up to pressure, and then after your 3 minutes is up, let it do a natural release for at least 10 minutes. This is what makes it really creamy. It's so good, you guys. So while the oats are cooking, I'm going to go ahead and cut the chicken up. So I need to cut the chicken into strips for my lunches this week, and then I'm going to cut the remainder into thin breasts. I'm going to put half of the chicken strips into a marinade so I can go ahead and grill those up to have for lunch this week as well. So the marinade I'm using this week is this Baja citrus. I'm just going to see if I like it as well as I like the mesquite. The smell on it is okay. I'm going to cook it according to package directions as usual. So I'm going to go ahead and get that marinating for the remainder of the time I'm doing this prep, and I'll cook the chicken last. So now that my chicken is all ready to go and it's marinating, I'm going to go ahead and start chopping the veggies and potatoes that I'm going to be roasting in the oven at the same time I'm cooking the rest of my meal prep. So I have some bell peppers that I need to cut into strips for one of my lunches. I'm going to chop up some sweet potatoes that I have and also some mini potatoes. I also need to cut up some white onions, red onions, and green onions that I'll be using for various recipes throughout the week. So I'm just going to go ahead and get all my potatoes and veggies all chopped up at one time. So I need some quinoa for one of my lunches, so I'm going to go ahead and get that started. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes to cook the quinoa. I always like to use some kind of broth in with my quinoa, and I am using some of this organic chicken broth. So I only had one of these, so I only had 8 ounces, so the other 2 cups is just going to be plain water. So I'm just starting off with 1 cup of quinoa and 3 cups of liquid, and I'll just bring this to a boil, let it simmer, and then it'll be all ready to go in about 15 minutes. Okay, so now that my quinoa is going, I'm going to go ahead and start prepping my roasted veggies and potatoes. So I'm going to be putting in this bowl here, I have the sweet potatoes, the regular potatoes. I am using some of the shaved Brussels sprouts from Trader Joe's, some of the butternut squash from Trader Joe's, and then also using some green beans as well. So I'm just going to toss, those are all in a bowl. I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon of olive oil and then some of the seasoned salt from Trader Joe's. So all that is going to go in there. I'm going to give it a good toss, and then I'm going to go ahead and pour that on a sheet pan. And I do have my oven ready to go at 425, so that way when I am done prepping my lunch, I'm going to go ahead and throw those both in there at the same time. Okay, so let's go ahead and prep the sheet pan chicken tinga. Or tinja, I don't know how you say it. I really apologize. I should have looked that up. So I have my bell peppers here that I sliced up. So I'm just going to put those on one side of the sheet pan. And then I have the chicken breast that I have kind of chopped up into strips and then also diced up a little bit. So I'm going to put those on the other side. I have 1 tablespoon of olive oil that I'm going to sprinkle all on top. And then also some of the seasoned salt from Trader Joe's. And then I'm just going to give that a good toss and go ahead and get it ready to go into the oven. So these are going to go into a 425 degree oven for about 30 minutes. So I'm going to put in my vegetables and this sheet pan with the chicken and the vegetables in there at the same time. Set my timer for 30 minutes and let them do their thing. So while all that's in the oven, I'm going to go ahead and start prepping my sauce for this chicken tinga. So to a pan, you're going to add in some onion and also some garlic. So this is about a half of a small onion. And then I have 2 tablespoons of garlic I'm putting in there. And I'm going to also add in 1 teaspoon of oregano and 1 teaspoon of cumin. So I'm just going to give those a good stir and then let those cook down just a little bit. I cooked them for about 3 or 4 minutes just till the onion started getting a little bit translucent. So next I'm going to add in 3 chipotle peppers. This is the chipotle peppers that are in adobo sauce. I'm adding 3 of those in there. I'm going to also add in 1 can of diced tomatoes. These were supposed to be fire roasted tomatoes, but when I did my grocery pickup, I got the regular diced green chili tomatoes, which I'm sure will be fine. So I'm going to put those in there, and then I'm going to give it a good stir and let it simmer for 10 minutes. Now, once that has simmered for 10 minutes, I'm going to transfer it to a blender and then blend it up until smooth. And I'll tell you guys, this is so fragrant. It smells so amazing. I cannot wait to have this for lunch. So the chicken and the bell peppers are done. I'm going to leave the roasted vegetables in there for a little bit longer, but I have pulled out the chicken and the bell peppers. I'm going to go ahead and add the chicken into a bowl and then add the sauce on top and give that a good stir. And then we are going to start assembling our meal prep containers for lunch. So I have these 3 compartment meal prep containers that I got from Amazon. I always have everything linked down below. So to the bigger section of the meal prep container, I'm going to add in a portion of the chicken tinga. And then on the other side of that, I'm adding in a half of a cup of the quinoa. And then I'm going to add in some black beans that I had drained and rinsed. And then I'll put the bell peppers in the other section. And this is what a completed meal prep looks like. I will have the points for this on the screen. I have not put everything into the recipe builder yet. So I'm just going to proceed with doing the other 3 meal prep containers and getting those all ready to go. So the oatmeal is all done. I need to get the pressure cooker cleaned up for the hard-boiled eggs. So I'm going to go ahead and weigh out an entire batch of the oatmeal, divide it into 4 equal servings. And again, I will have the points for this on the screen because I have not put it into the recipe builder yet. But it came out to 4 equal servings here. And you guys, this smells so good. It's like apples and spice, and it is so creamy and it is amazing. So I know you guys will love this recipe. So the roasted veggies are all done. They probably took about 45 minutes total. and I want to go ahead and put those into a container, and I will be having these for another option for lunch through the week with the grilled chicken that I am about to make. Now, just another note, as usual, you guys, I don't only eat all these. This is also for my son who likes to eat the same things that I eat. So I'm going to go ahead and get my hard-boiled eggs started. I always do the 5-5-5 method. That is 5 minutes on steam setting, 5 minutes of natural release, and then at least 5 minutes in a ice bath. So that is what I'm doing with my hard-boiled eggs. And while the eggs are cooking, I'm going to go ahead and get my chicken grilling. So to my air fryer, I am just going to put that marinated chicken right into my air fryer basket. I cook this at 400 degrees for 15 minutes. I do check it about halfway through and kind of turn them over a little bit, but that's not always necessary. And this is what it looks like when it comes out. So there you go, guys. There is everything that I prepped this week. I hope you guys enjoyed the tips I gave. Also, as usual, I will have the recipes linked down below where I was inspired to make these. And also, you'll have all my containers down below if you want to purchase some of these meal prep containers for yourself. As always, I will have a list of all my meal preps that I have done on this channel. I have over 100. They will be at the end of this video and also in the description box. If you have any questions about meal prepping at all in general, let me know down below in the comment section. I will be happy to answer those, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Bye, guys. I see the light inside your eyes. You make me feel like